I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're exploring the rugged and gripping world of the Overlanders. It's a terrific book written by Mary Seaton. Based on a true story, this bittersweet and comical novel takes us deep into the trials, dangers, and triumphs of a droving team in the unforgiving Australian Outback. Through harrowing journeys and unbreakable bonds, Mary brings to life the untold stories of unsung heroes who braved the wilderness to deliver the cattle that fed a nation. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Sweet Spire Literature Management for helping us put her in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below the interview. Mary, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thanks for having me on the show.
My pleasure. This is quite a book. What inspired you to write it, and how much of it is drawn from real life events?
Most of it is drawn from real life events. The thing that I have here, because it's based on true stories, I've had to ad lib, if you like, some of the connect the stories up to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's been a real joy to write because I just love the life of a drover. I've been out in those camps and I sort of know them, and I think it's just a shame. I was actually there for the closure, you know, when they sort of started using road trains and things like that. So the drovers were like put out the pasture, if you like, and it's just a piece of history that's just doesn't exist like so many pieces of history.
Tell us a little bit about the drovers. Are they more like our cowboys in a way? And why are they considered unsung heroes?
Well, I don't know, but in this country, you've got hundreds of miles to take a herd of cattle or horses or whatever, and they can't go too long without water. So, you know, it's always a worry, you know, to be able to find water, and because you're so long, like in months on the road, they can't go without feed either. So, but most of them, they follow the stock routes, and they know their stuff. They know what they're doing. They know the country, and they don't seem to have too much trouble. I mean, Tom in the Overlanders, he excelled at it. He just had a feel for the bush, and he knew all the stock routes, knew what he was doing, and yeah, they had a lot of dangers, but they took their dangers day to day. You know, they just didn't see themselves as anything special. And although it was hard work, they just wouldn't think of doing anything else. And so I think Tom and his crew, I picked them because Tom is actually a relative of mine, and he's still alive today. He's old, but he still has his cattle station in Queensland that he runs by himself, and he was a very smart man. Tom knew what he was doing, and so.
I was going to say, did you interview Tom for the story? Did you interview him to find out what life was like?
I was out there with him.
Oh, really?
When I was a kid. Okay. Yeah. I wrote a chapter in the Overlanders, chapter 12, and I was having problems with whether I should use it because who would believe it, you know? Because I want to stamp true stories based on true stories. But I decided to go with it, and I used that story in Devil's Canyon, and that was probably my favorite. Overland is my favorite book of all the books, and chapter 12 I think was the favorite because I think I came the closest in chapter 12 to actually capturing some of the mystique of the Australian Outback.
Mm.
You know, it's very ancient sort of land, and very harsh. It can be very harsh. It's very beautiful, but it can be very harsh. And if you don't know what you're doing, you'll get yourself into trouble
Yeah.
out
Is
there.
Overland part of a
So,
series? Are there multiple books?
yes, there are four. The first one was, of course, Mary the Shanty. And Mary the Shanty is the only one in the four books that is not set in the Outback.
Hmm.
Mary the Shanty was set in country Victoria, in the farming country, down on the Murrumbidgee River.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of them were pretty much Outback books. And I think I was out in those cattle camps when we were kids, and we Mary the Shanty was particularly hard in a way, because I lived in one of those communities. I was brought up in one of those communities, but the community I lived in was in the Outback,
Hmm.
and I lived in a tent for the first 5 years of my life,
Wow.
and and then we progressed on to a caravan. But see, in those communities up there that I lived in, there was always work, but you had to follow it.
Hmm.
And a lot of the drovers, they took their families with them on their expeditions. And so it was a good life,
Yeah.
you know, but, you know, it had its hardships. But
Mm.
Mary of the Shanty, as I said, it was a kind of I wanted to write that because of the connection with people in it, and how people can be empowered if they unite. And the
Mm.
only way you can survive in the bush is if you've got people you can count on. And
Yeah.
so we always lived in communities for safety reasons. And it's not family, but it's more like a tribe. So you live in, like, you know, you've got about five families all living in the one place, and you go out to where your work is, and if anything goes wrong, you've got help.
Yeah.
And I remember on one occasion we were out in the Never Never, you know, and we were, like, I think 2 or 3 days from anywhere in a vehicle, and our vehicle broke down, and we were by ourselves, so we were in dire straits, and so we'd run out of food, we ran out of water, and we'd just lie down, you know, to die. And so a member of the tribe, as I call them,
Mm.
came looking for us, and he saved us. So,
Mm.
you know, I wrote in Me and Matilda that the kind of love that saves lives has got precious little to do with family. It wasn't family that saved us over and over. It was the tribe that we had established in out there because we weren't stationed people. This is the thing. We
Yeah.
were travelling around the countryside. See, by the time I was uh, about 7 at school, when I went to my first school, I'd lived in every state in Australia.
Mm.
And so I thought to write books about the other people who work out there, and people who live travelling about. It's just different.
Yeah.
Um, so it was quite easy to write,
Yeah.
quite
What do you hope,
easy. But
what do you hope readers take away from it? What do you hope people learn?
one of the things that I try and share how beautiful the outback is,
Hmm.
and the other thing that I would like people to get is how important human connection is. How important it is to have a network of people. It doesn't have to be family. It doesn't even have to be a tribe. But if you have a network of family and you with help from people, you can overcome just about anything.
Yeah.
And in Mary of the Shandy, those people were in dire straits. They were on, they were just about to give up hope. And Mary shows up, and she sort of united them and helped them to help themselves. And you need people. I think, in the days to come, we're going to need people.
When it comes
In
down
the
to
days,
survival, all you've got is each other. All you can count on
yeah,
is each other, and people are
that's right.
needed. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yes, yeah.
It's an amazing book.
It,
Go ahead.
sorry, yeah, it's the Mary of the Shandy. Yeah, it's the power of people who are united.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful thing. I've seen it time and time again in my life. That if you have people who want to help you, um, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Because look, we wouldn't have made it
Yeah.
if those people hadn't come and found us. We failed to
Amazing.
make a rendezvous, and they knew something was wrong, and we would do the same for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
give and take.
Amazing. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
when it comes to harsh environments, people are more important than ever. Your
that's
survival
right.
depends on it, that's for sure. The name of the book is The Overlanders. It is based on a true
Yes,
story. It is bittersweet and comical at times, and it takes us into the trials, dangers, and triumphs of a droving team in the unforgiving Australian Outback. Through harrowing journeys and unbreakable bonds, the author brings life to the untold stories of the unsung heroes who braved the wilderness to deliver cattle that fed the nation. Mary, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. Appreciate your time and your wonderful stories. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.